So you start a YouTube channel. How long before the efforts that you're making to put into the channel actually pay off? We all see the stories of people where they're like, I got monetized in 10 days, or I went viral overnight. My first video reached hundreds of thousands of people, all of these different things, right? And maybe some of them are true. There are absolutely exceptions to the norm, but I want to talk about realistic timelines, what you should actually expect if you're going to put your effort into YouTube. By the way, I am answering the top 10 questions about YouTube growth for entrepreneurs all this week. This is one of those questions, of course. If you go down in the description of this video, you can actually see a link to all 10 questions that I'm going to be answering. This is our third one live, so you can get a link to all of those right there. All right, so how long until you can expect to see results on YouTube? So the short answer is longer than you want, but shorter than you think. Just being realistic, it's not going to be overnight, but it also doesn't need to take years either. I've seen some experts out there talking about how, well, you better be ready to commit for 5 full years. That's just not the case. In fact, YouTube channels are growing even faster now when done right with the right strategy than they were 5 years ago. The quick version of this is YouTube's algorithm decides whether your video is going to get recommended to people who don't know who you are yet, whether you're going to come up in search, whether you're going to be coming up on the sidebar in the browse feed, all these different places. And it used to be that YouTube did favor channels that had been publishing longer simply because there was more trust built between that channel and YouTube as a platform. Because other people were then doing these different nefarious tactics, like keyword stuffing and trying to game the system to get more views. Now, in 2025, and certainly going forward, YouTube's algorithm is AI enhanced, which means it's smarter than it's ever been. It knows what a video is about, not just what you say, but what's being shown on screen, the emotion, the tension, all of it. So it's really good at matching videos up to the right people. Doesn't matter necessarily as much what you put in the description and in the keywords and different things like that. So that's good news for us. But how long is it going to take? Well, first thing just to know up front, if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, which is who I am and that's who I work with, you don't need thousands of views to profit. Technically, you could have one viewer. If it's the right person, they can become a client. Okay. And I'll tell you how fast this channel started making money from clients in just a second. So I want to just share my screen here and walk you through something really quick. The first thing I really want to kind of talk about is that this should not be our goal. Now, yes, easy for me to say, I've got one of these plaques, reached 100,000 subscribers, which I'm totally grateful for. But, transparently, it's kind of flimsy. I think there's foam in the back of it. And even though this feels cool to be recognized and it, gives me some authority, it means nothing to what the rest of the YouTube channel has done for me in terms of being able to help literally millions of people around the world, getting leads for my business, giving me flexibility to create and drive leads to my business without having to work, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. So this should not necessarily be your goal. It's great if you get there, don't get me wrong, but there are people with much smaller channels that are just crushing it. So don't look at it in this way, okay? So here's how we should be measuring success though. This is my first 6 months on YouTube. This is my subscriber growth. So you can see there's a little bit of a spike at the, let's see, does my mouse show? Yes, it does. A little bit of spike here at the beginning, right? I launched the channel. I told people, oh, please go and subscribe. And then nothing. Lots of days that I got no views, no subscribers, these little things. This is why a lot of people quit, right? Because this was 6 months on YouTube and it looked like this. So people quit. But I want to show you what happens when you keep going, as well as what we should be measuring by, okay? So first, I got my first paying client from this YouTube channel 11 days after I started publishing. I had 17 subscribers. Somebody was like, do you consult? And I was like, yeah, I do. When you talk about your expertise on YouTube, people can see that you know what you're talking about. Maybe you're saying something different than what they've heard before. You can get leads that become clients or members or students or however you refer to the people that you work with, the people that hire you, the people that give you money. Okay. So that was the first part. During the first couple of months, I booked 2 paid speaking gigs. Again, I think at the end of 2 months, I had 28 subscribers. 28 subscribers. That's all it took for this to start happening. And over the next several months, again, during this really, like when you look at the analytics, this channel looks like it's dead in the water. More clients, increased authority, more speaking opportunities. So it doesn't take thousands of views or thousands of subscribers for people to see you as an expert when you start talking about it on YouTube. Okay. This was not a fluke, but then it gets better from there. This was my first 6 months. Then, other way. I'll show you my next 6 months here in just a second. But we want to be measuring by am I getting leads if you're an entrepreneur? Am I getting sales? Those are the numbers that matter. And something else you should know about YouTube, I like to call YouTube the bamboo network. So this was me visiting a bamboo forest in Japan. And there are certain types of bamboo where you plant the bamboo and it's underground and it's doing stuff. You see nothing. Kind of like my subscriber growth during the first 6 months, almost nothing, right? You have to nurture it, you have to take care of it. And then all of a sudden that bamboo grows, I think it's 30 feet in 6 weeks. Okay. Like 10 meters in 6 weeks. Imagine having something planted in your backyard and it's doing nothing. And all of a sudden, like a month and a half later, you're like, whoa, what just happened here? That's what YouTube is like. It takes time to get going, but once it goes, it goes. So it took me 6 months to get 100 subscribers, but a month later I had 1,000. And a year later I had 10,000 subscribers and my own business because of that YouTube channel. Here's my first 12 months on YouTube. So you see, after 6 months, all of a sudden it started taking off, right? And then here's my first 18 months on YouTube. So yes, you got to do the stuff in the beginning, but then off it goes. And you'll have this incredible high leverage asset for your business that can change everything. The best part about it though, is that you do get those early wins. If the right people start seeing your videos, then you can absolutely start getting clients from YouTube in the very beginning. Now, I want to show you how to speed this up in just a second because it goes faster when you start the right way. I actually just applied what I'm going to tell you about in a second to a new experimental channel, brand new from scratch, no history whatsoever. And I launched this channel, and on my current channel, the one that you're watching right now, it took me 6 months to get 100 subscribers, like I just showed you. This new channel, I hit 100 subscribers in 6 days, okay? But better than that, 3 weeks in, after only 21 days, 65% of my views were coming from people who didn't know who I was, okay? So you can look in your analytics, if you've never seen this, where your traffic to YouTube is coming from. So 2/3 of my views were coming from YouTube recommending my videos in search, YouTube recommending my videos in the feed, YouTube recommending my videos on the homepage at youtube.com. 3-week-old channel. Imagine that. It all starts, this is how you do it. It works if you teach YouTube who your videos are for. They want to show good videos to the right people. So when I work with clients, we start with 8 videos, very specifically chosen topics to train YouTube to go, that's what this channel's about. I call it the Magnetic 8. And if you want to learn more about this, I'm running a challenge coming up next week. You can get info by going to youtubeworkshop.info. You can also find the link down in the description of this video. But in this challenge, we're going to go through and I'm going to show you exactly how to figure out the best 8 topics for you to learn, for you to make videos on YouTube so that YouTube knows who your channel's for and can start recommending it to people, okay? Plus, you can do this on an existing channel. On this channel last year, I pivoted and went in a new direction, and I applied this, and within 60 days, I was getting lots of leads and buyers from people who were searching for the topic that I was helping them with, and it was coming up at the top of YouTube and Google after 60 days. So this is what happens when you make these Magnetic 8 videos. And I can't teach the whole thing right here, but I can teach you in this challenge. Like I said, it's called the Magnetic 8 YouTube Challenge. It's only $17 to join. I'm going to be in there answering all your questions. And when you walk away, you're going to have a few things. One, you're going to have a lot of clarity about who your ideal viewer is on YouTube. Even if you're a business owner, you've done lots of research about, this is my ideal client or my ideal client avatar, all that. Sometimes they're slightly different on YouTube. So we'll make sure you have that. Second, we're going to make sure that your channel has something that makes it unforgettable. The channels that grow fast, or the channels that grow at all, are the ones where the person making the videos doesn't have to promote the channel. So in the beginning, you should find the right people and send them to watch your videos, people that are going to like them anyway and maybe become your clients. But Eventually, we want YouTube to recommend our videos to people, and we want people to tell other people about our videos. And so that's the other thing you're going to get is something that makes your channel really, really memorable. And then the third part that you're going to get is you're going to walk away with your magnetic 8 video topics so you can go and then make those videos and train on your own channel. So again, if you'd like to join us, all you have to do is go to youtubeworkshop.info. Again, youtubeworkshop.info. We start on Monday. This is taken right out of my $1,000 signature program, the YT90 Activation Lab. But it's only $17 to join, and you can learn it at that price point, okay? So I hope you will join us. If you have any questions about this, you're watching it later on replay, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll be back to answer those, and I'll be back at 6 p.m. Eastern today to answer our next question. I'm answering the top 10 questions asked about YouTube all this week. And the next one is YouTube too crowded to start a channel in 2025? If you want to hear the answer to that, come back at 6 p.m. Eastern, that's New York time, or you'll, of course, be able to get the replay. You can find a link to a playlist with that video and all of these top 10 questions that I'm answering just by going down into the description of this video, along with the link to get your tickets for the Magnetic 8 YouTube Challenge, okay? So if you want to grow faster on YouTube, grab your ticket for our challenge next week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.